Hey everyone, Ben from Silence Falls here. I am one half of the guitar duo that helps to make up Silence Fall. But a couple weeks ago, our third person on strings, Mr. Lewis Buston, decided to give a rundown of what he uses on his bass rig. Figured there was no time like the present to do something similar for one half of the guitars, just to kind of give you an idea of what kind of sound it is that we're getting up there. Alright, so y'all are in my workout room, well, workshop I'd rather say, because not a whole lot of working out going on. But figured I'd go ahead and just kind of run through the different effects and things that we use. Then we'll move on into guitars and amps. So, to kick it off, this is my current pedal board setup. So, a bunch of different things going on here. So for tuning purposes and just weird effects, because we do some Rage Against the Machine, things like that, I have my RP 500 I'm rocking now. Yeah. Gets pretty much any kind of weird sound you can ever want. I use it mainly for a whammy pedal, for like Killing in the Name. We kind of toyed around with the idea of doing a couple other Rage songs or Audioslave songs, but doesn't really honestly get used a whole lot. Looks more impressive than it really is, but c'est la vie. So now the fun part. Isn't that pretty? So Ty Collard, our other guitar player, kind of turned me on to the pedal board here. This is actually called the Holy Board. A lot of really cool things on it. Instead of using Velcro and putting all this kind of sticky shit all over your pedals, it just uses zip ties. You can rearrange it however you want. This top deck here, you can kind of move it around, do whatever you need to do for what works best for you. So I tried to keep it pretty ergonomic, just basic effects, things like that, but we'll kind of go through each one as they're laid out. So as far as signal chain goes, so I start off, I come into here, come out into the Ibanez WD7 Weeping Demon wah. Thing is just beyond badass. You can do all kind of different things with it. You can either kick it on with a foot switch here, or the way that I like to have it set is just step on, just like all the old Morley stuff. The other neat thing, I don't know how well y'all could see, but are the dials here, and there's actually a couple up under here that lets you adjust your different depth and things like that. But the neat thing is you push down on these, and then you can go through and you can adjust what you need to. Once you find the tone you like, push them back in, they're locked in, you're not going to lose what sound you like. It's also got a normal and a low range, because you can also use this guy as a bass wah. So lots of really cool stuff this thing can do. From here, this one pretty much just goes straight back out and into the input of the amp. It's the only thing I've got between this big massive thing is this guy here, and then it goes straight in. So from there, we move into the effects loop. Just all kinds of fun. So I don't use a whole lot of distortion because my main amp has more than I know what to do with, but I do like to get a little bit of, not necessarily crunch, but just some dirtiness at everything, which is funny given that this guy is the OCD full tone is an overdrive, which dirties everything up nicely. OCD, dirty, haha. Anyway, you got a high and low pass switch up top, just to kind of give you a little bit different sound. You get more high-end crispness here, and then some muddiness whenever you bring your low pass down. I don't use it a whole lot, usually just on a clean channel, just to get a little bit of grime in there if I need it, but probably pretty underutilized. Okay. I've had a love affair with this thing for a very long time. Digitech Multicourse X Series. Can't say enough good stuff about it. Just really gives you a deep, singing tone to whatever the hell you plug into it. Love it. This is the newest edition, Boss Phase Shifter PH3. Haven't really played with it a whole lot. More to come on it, I suppose, but pretty cool. Got a tap delay. Can't wait to try and work it into some stuff. This is the sleeper out of the whole bunch. Looks cheap, because it was. Fender delay. I think it was 60, 70 bucks. But overall, does everything you need it to do in a delay pedal. Played with a bunch of the different ones, the Boss ones, the Digitex. Really, you just need it to echo a little bit. Nobody needs just days and days of delay. This gives you just enough for what you need to do. Plays great for things like Breaking Benjamin, some of the Staind stuff. Can't say enough good things about the Fender delay for what you get. Now the Boost, Bluesbreaker 2 BB2. Really just use it for kicking into those big solos. Doesn't really change your tone a whole lot. Just brings your mids up and just a whole lot of volume out of this guy with one little switch. From there, we come out and into the Rocktron Hush. Really, I mean, it is what it is. It's a noise gate. Keeps your whines down whenever you're not actually playing. Really not that bad as far as, you know, cutting your tone down. If you really need to kick it off in the middle of it, there you go. Just remember always, if you're running lots of gain, everything, whenever you're done and you're going to end a song, kick it back on, because it will holler at you. And then that's it. That's the whole effects chain, and then we got the PV switch. As far as amps, I've gone through a bunch of different ones so far in my musical journey. First one, and again, you forget the mess, but whatever. Got a Fender Deluxe 90, little solid state Fender. Jammed on this guy for years. Just wonderful little amp. Starting to show its age though. It's starting to have circuit board problems. Nobody can really work on it. It's a shame, because I actually really like this amp. But yeah. From there, had several different half stacks. Wound up not using them near as much as I thought I would. Used to have a PV Valve King head, and ran out to 2 Marshall 412 cabinets, and that was ungodly loud. Never ever needed that much power, but it was fun to have when I had it. Moving into the more tube stuff, just moving down into a combo. PV Ultra 112 is kind of the predecessor to the Triple X PV series. Just stupid amounts of crunch out of this thing. It's 3 channels, clean, dirty, and then ultra crunch. It was a buddy of mine's. He was kind enough to let me use it for a while, and I've had it for a very long time. But if Ty ever decides to do his rundown, you'll see why I needed to upgrade a bit. I don't actually have the amp that I'm currently using here. It's at the practice space. But I have moved up into a 6505 PV212 combo, and again, more distortion than I know what to do with. It is just unbelievably kick-ass. So, ever anybody gets a chance to get your hands on one, by all means jump on it. It's 2 channels, but Jesus, it's just awesome. Alright, so now the part everybody enjoys most. The guitars. We have a lot of them. I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I use every show. Ty is right up there with me. One of the things that Silence Falls tried to do whenever we started was we wanted to try and keep everything as close to the original as possible. So that meant same tones, same effects. Chuck does his absolute best to get to their vocal ranges, which he pushes his limit a lot. He's covering some pretty big guys, Miles Kennedy, Brian James Dio. Yeah, lots of them. So I guess we'll just kind of start from the bottom and work the way on up. So bear with me, I have cases for all of them. They don't normally lay around like this, so I don't want to hear anything about it in the comments. So starting at the bottom. Epiphone Goth Explorer does not play like an Epiphone. That's the one thing that I've really noticed with the two Epiphones that I do have. They are the most Gibson-y Epiphones I've played in a while. This one's going to get some upgrades. Neck plays great, straight as can be. Tuners work real well, stay in tune, no slippage. But the hardware is really kind of where everything's let down. So, typical Epiphone volume knobs. Tone knob's a little different. Got a stutter switch, so you can cut it off. You can sit there and tap. That'd be really fun. Try to use it in Black by Sevendust, and we were kind of looking at doing another Rage Against the Machine song. I'm having trouble remembering which one it is now that uses it, but it keeps you from having to really work your switches. One thing I did do with it, only real modification I've done, and it's just a stupid one that Epiphone should have done to begin with. They used to put their strap nuts up here. I relocated it to the back, and that solved every kind of weighting balance issue that this thing had, because every time I throw the thing on, it'd sit like this, so you're constantly having to pull it back up. But really cool for low tuning stuff, drowning pool, all that kind of good stuff. Alright. Stay right there. Next, Epiphone Prophecy Series SG. Just killer, man. I mean, can't say enough good things about this. It's got the Gibson Dirty Finger pickups in it, so Gibson pickups. Hardware is just solid as can be, and this one's got a coil tap on it, so you pull your volume up and it splits these into single coils. Just killer instrument. Really, like I said, can't say enough good things about it. Got this one from this one actually, and the Explorer from Jack's Music in Spanish Fort. If you haven't been to them, go check them out. They get a lot of really cool Epiphone deals, things that you wouldn't imagine a little place like this would have, but awesome. Alright. This one's not necessarily the step down, but it's ugly, but it plays really, really well. So, got this one on trade, but it's a PRS, I think CE22 is what it was. Whoever had this before beat the hell out of it. I mean, just scratched it, did not take care of the finish. But oh my god, the way this thing plays. It looks like it's ready to go in the dumpster, but it is probably one of the best playing things I've ever picked up. Tone is unreal. 5-way switch, so neck combined. But the neat thing about this one is that your second and fourth positions on the switch are coil tap. So again, you get that single coil, really bright Strat kind of feel to it with your humbucker pickups. Very cool. Glad I picked it up and didn't judge a book by its cover on this one. Alright, another new acquisition. Gibson Flying V. Not actually a huge V fan, and this one kind of came along with a trade, but it's quickly turning into one of my favorites. It weighs nothing. I mean, there's just absolutely no weight to it, so whenever you're up on stage, it's really cool. to not have to feel that pain from having a guitar hanging on your shoulder all night. You get to strike your classic metal poses. But it's a 2000s series V, don't know which one. Again, the Gibson quality, can't knock it. And then this one. This is my baby. I've had this one for about 10 years. Gibson Explorer. It went through my first band with me. Steps of Survival was the name of it. We had a pretty fun time about 5 or 7 years ago. And this one is just a workhorse. Cannot kill it. You can't do anything to make it sound bad. Yeah. Love it to death. But yeah, those are the guitars that I use on stage. What helps make up the sound of Silence Falls has a really cool, different kind of dynamic that Ty has. I'm very much, humbuckers, beefy, heavy, kind of punchy stuff. Ty, if you ever decide to make your video, I'd like you to show off your wonderful RG series Ibanez's. He gets some really, really cool sounds out of them, and he's got a pretty wicked pedal board as well. But that's it. Thank you very much for wasting your time watching this video. Hope I didn't waste my time making it. But hope to see y'all at our next show. We have one coming up at Touchdown Tavern. Hit our Facebook up, hit Reverb Nation, officialsilencefalls.com. We'll keep you updated. Y'all have a wonderful day. Rock on.